Welcome back to the new series Story Spotlight, where we go in-depth and give behind the scenes on recently published stories. I'm Emma Krause.
And I'm Lida Cosgrove, and today we will be going through my latest A&E called On Shuffle for Your Sweetheart, where I created the ultimate Valentine's Day playlist with some love songs you may have never heard of.
So what was the process of finding these songs?
So I'm a big playlist maker as it is, and my favorite playlist in my own Spotify is 6 hours long called Love, and it's just a bunch of love songs. And my longest playlist, Love. It's a bunch of love songs. And, you know, it has a mix of all of the classics we know and love, like Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran, I'm Yours by Jason Mraz, Love Story by Taylor Swift, all great songs. But I feel like there are many love songs that are underrated, underappreciated that people just don't know about. So for this story, I kind of took some of my favorite underrated love songs and put them on a playlist.
So what was your favorite song on this playlist?
Okay, I think it's going to have to be a tie between two of my favorite love songs by the Beatles. Well, the first one is In My Life by the Beatles, and then the other is Silly Love Songs by the Wings, which is Paul McCartney's, spin-off band he did after the Beatles. They're both really just fun songs, Silly Love Songs especially. It's almost 6 minutes long, and it's pretty much just repeating that, it's talking about how there's so many love songs in the world, but it doesn't matter and it's okay. And so I feel like sometimes people get a little cynical when it comes to love songs and they're like, oh, there's so many, we don't need any more. But this song is just like a celebration of love and love songs, and I think it's really fun. And then In My Life, also by the Beatles, is just a really sweet, talking about all the people you've ever loved in your life. It's not just a love song to one person. It's about all the people you've met along the way, which I think is also really great.
So what was the most surprising song that you put on this playlist?
Surprising song is probably Wasteland Baby by Hozier, because it's kind of a darker song and talking about, there's lyrics about the apocalypse and end of the world and kind of darker imagery, but it's really about how even though something dark may be going on around you, when you love someone, it doesn't really matter, and you can kind of have an escape with someone even when you're in a wasteland. And so it's definitely doesn't have that sweet love song sound like most people are used to. It's kind of a slower, if you listen to Hozier music, sort of, I don't know, granola style. And anyway, I just really love it. I think it's a really pretty song and just kind of a different take. And then actually another one that's kind of unexpected is I'll Have to Say I Love You in a Song by Jim Krause. And the first time I heard it, I just thought it was kind of a funny song, because it's I don't know how to tell you I love you, so I'm going to sing it instead, which I feel like is a pretty, fun message. And it's just it's like a 2-minute song. It's really quick, and it's an old one. I think it's from the 70s, so it's a good throwback.
So you talk about a couple of songs on your story, so tell us about some other ones.
So another one on there, I talked about 8 main ones throughout my story, and another one of my favorites is Do You Remember by Jack Johnson. I feel like Jack Johnson is definitely well known for Banana Pancakes and what's another one of his songs?
Sitting, Waiting, Wishing.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Upside Down from Curious George. But Do You Remember, I feel like, is one of his lesser known ones, and it's a very good, kind of reminds me of that one song by the White Stripes, We're Gonna Be Friends. It's kind of that nostalgic sound, and it's a really sweet song, so I recommend that one as well. Yeah.
So you have your favorite lyrics on there. So what were your favorite lyrics from those songs?
Oh, from all of these?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'll go back to Silly Love Songs by the Wings. My favorite lyric from that is, love doesn't come in a minute. Sometimes it doesn't come at all. I only know that when I'm in it, it isn't silly. Love isn't silly. Love isn't silly at all. It's a very repetitive song, but I think it's just fun. There's pots clanging in the background, and it's a fun song. Then In My Life, the other one by the Beatles, the lyric, all these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all. Do You Remember? My favorite lyric is, but I was crazy about you then, and now the craziest thing of all, over 10 years have gone by, and you're still mine, we're locked in time, let's rewind. I really like that one because it's kind of growing with a person and looking back at your relationship or your friendship or whatever it is. And then I'll Have to Say I Love You in a Song. He says, well, I know it's kind of late. I hope I didn't wake you, but what I gotta say can't wait. I know you'd understand. I really like that lyric as well. And then in Wasteland Baby, all the fear and the fire of the end of the world happens each time a boy falls in love with a girl. Happens great, happens sweet. Happily, I'm unfazed here too. So just kind of that like, nothing else matters around us. I'm unfazed because I'm in love, I guess. And then should we talk about the opening it up? So I also did a little poll on our Harbinger Instagram to get the opinions of East students on what their ultimate love songs were. So Kate Whitefield says Annie's Song by John Denver, which I'd actually never listened to. It was very good. We had several people say Lover by Taylor Swift, Enchanted by Taylor Swift, You Are in Love by Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is definitely known for both her breakup songs and her love songs. On my playlist, I also put on New Year's Day by Taylor Swift. It's one of my favorite love songs by her. Jack Slaughter says Endless Love by Diana Ross and Lionel Richie. Claire Schutte says Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley. That's a classic one. Something by the Beatles, says Charlie Gregg. I do love that song as well. Mr. Kramer, psychology teacher, says The One by Elton John. Charlie Kitten says The Glue Song by Biaba Doobie, which is unreleased. Nora Hill says Never Not by Love. MJ Wolf, Until I Found You by Steven Sanchez. Ooh, Segan Bettenhausen says Invisible String by Taylor Swift. Also a very good one. And then Line Without a Hook by Ricky Montgomery. So those were some of our submissions. Do you have any other questions for me?
So you're hoping to make this a series. Do you know what your next idea is going to be?
I am. I don't quite know what my next idea is going to be. Like I said, I love making playlists, so I want to start a series called On Shuffle for whatever the occasion may be. So maybe my next one will be like my ultimate school dance songs with Sweetheart coming up, or spring break music. So just kind of whatever's in season, kind of my favorite, maybe underrated songs that people don't know about that should. So if any of these sound appealing, you should definitely listen. Also, SME Journalism on Spotify. This playlist is on there. If you follow it, give it a listen. Really good mix on there.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on Story Spotlight. We'll see you next time.